What's China doing?
Yeah.
They're providing security protection. They're building ports. They're debt enslaving nations, so we have to work for them in the future. And they're playing for keeps. So is Russia in there. And we're running around talking about nonsense. So this is an institution, in my mind, that hasn't learned one bit.
Yeah.
Still thinks we did a great job on counterinsurgency. So if you're not on it, I mean, and I look back at how the reasons I was an advocate for it so directly at the time is because I believed in it, and I believed in our country, and I believe in finishing wars we fight. If you fight it, let's finish it and then get the hell out. But don't leave in shame. Don't leave the way we left in Afghanistan. But because we fought a 20-year war in 1-year iterations and never learned in the process, and then try to change hearts and minds, it didn't work, and it collapsed under its own weight. Now it's worse. So if you find me someone who thinks that those wars were better and that we think they should do them in 2024, they need a lobotomy, because they haven't looked at the evidence afterwards to recognize where we are. It just wasn't, it was a house of cards meant to fall. Afghanistan was a house of cards. I saw it in 2011, 2012. My job, I was the senior counterinsurgency instructor at the training center. So it wasn't a combat mission for me, I was a trainer. And I trained the units coming in, conventional, international units, all that, on the latest tactics and strategy of the Taliban. So what's the Taliban and Al-Qaeda doing across all the provinces? Are they gaining ground? Are they losing ground? What's their approach? And it was clear by then the shadow government structure, the shadow court structure, how they infiltrated the ANA and the ANP. So they knew who their people were, would activate them as necessary. There was a lot of blue on green at that point going on, so you had to worry about if the guys are training you, we're going to turn their guns on you. It's all psychological warfare. The whole thing was meant to show to the population, hey, we may not be in charge right now. It's the corrupt American puppets that are. But once the Americans leave, like, we have the real power. We're the real power base here. And that is exactly what played out over 10 years. And that's exactly what our Pentagon commanders knew. But they were always in a race to green. You know what the race to green is? Race to green is you've got red, amber, green, and you've got to show that your Afghan National Army unit is at green status, ready to go, whether they're at green status, ready to go or not. And so we had a shell of an army incapable of actually defending the country, and Milley and all these folks should have known, Mackenzie, all of them, and they probably did at some level, but they knew they had to say it's A-okay. And so you get that collapse.